Welcome, everybody. It's Matt along with Moogle. We're going to talk today about Bahamut and Cactuar. Yes, I know. I don't have a Cactuar. But more importantly, are they worth it? Stay tuned. So Bahamut has one of the best leaderships in the game. Increases spell power by 15%. Very top notch. So let's just go with the skills. The first one's Doomed Awakening. Restores MP by 70. Increases spell power and recovery power. More importantly, if you notice Snowstorm and Mega Flare, that they require more than 70, but from increasing all the skills, you should be fairly good at going 1-to-1 once you use up all of Bahamut's MP. So it is basically able to be used pretty much nonstop. And the good news is too is you are increasing your overall damage for the most part in that case. So it is a pretty nice overall boost. Snowstorm is a large crackle damage to all enemies and 40% chance to cause stun. Very strong skill. And honestly, even though Mega Flare I think is more useful overall, you will be using Snowstorm a decent amount. And what's really nice is it really enhances its power with Doomed Awakening. And on the second and third turns, you can really do a lot of damage with that skill. So it's all there. The third one is Mega Flare. Deals heavy damage to all enemies in range. Very, very, very powerful skill as well. That range is the Zenlon Breath range. It is not elemental. It can be increased as well, especially turns 2 and 3. And I'll kind of explain a little bit more at the final part on the top where you will use Bahamut. Very good skills overall. The First Awakening increases movement and 20% damage for the first 3 turns. And you just notice that this unit is designed to be a very high-powered 3-turn damage machine. Sizzle Frizz for the 25%. For being a spell user, you'd be like, 50% of max MP when HP is below 50%. Bahamut has a massive HP pool. It's a little average, actually, I'd say, on defense, but has a massive HP pool. So this third Awakening skill is actually really, really powerful. Also gives Mega Flare another 5%. The last one is 100 HP with Mega Flare plus 5% as well. Bahamut, you can look the HP of 1415, and even if you only get it to the third Awakening, you're still looking at a solid 1275, 1280. And so getting 640 back if you get it to a third Awakening, which is going to be my goal. I'm not sure if we're going to get there, but that is my goal. Is really, really powerful. The agility and wisdom is very high as well at 465 and 478. And the MP is pretty good at 466. You do notice, though, that that's really only enough for not even quite 4 blasts. But you're usually going to be alternating with the power up and not, except for maybe turns 2 and 3. So you should still be able to keep that MP up to be able to use Bahamut for a decent amount of turns before it finally runs out of gas. And in all honesty, it's a unit that is also really good for longer battles just because of the fact that it can keep attacking and keep keeping its MP high enough so it really can burn through compared to a lot of other units. The only thing I don't like is Bahamut's theoretically a dragon, but they're treating it as a boss, and I understand why with the stats. And also they're treating it like an FFBE, where the question mark would be appropriate from an Esper standpoint. So its weight is 65. For the first 3 turns, though, its movement is much more than 2, but it doesn't gain more than that, and that's one of its really nitpicky weaknesses. On top of it, too, when you get to that first 20% damage for the first 3 turns, It also has the ability that turns 1 and 2 will boost its damage as well for 2 turns, and turn 3 for 1 turn. So turns 2 and 3 have a very large increase in damage overall with the First Awakening. And Bahamut is a wonderful unit for just in general, especially turn 2. Usually, first turn, you're probably going to do Doomed Awakening. And then that second hit is going to be a massive dump. And even if that's not the case and you just hit hard first, second, third, you should have enough MP to be able to do that. And there will be a large amount of damage, especially with the Wisdom being so high up here. 478 is 5 Awakenings, but still, you're still talking of 420 regions for 3, for 3 and 400 for 1. So it's very, very powerful overall. Its preferred weapon is Excalibur. This is farmable in the upcoming event, so pretty easy to get. Mockshop Kupo gives it 55 more HP, 15 attack, and 15 wisdom. That HP is just wonderful, and the wisdom is great as well. You're going to look for HP agility and Mega Flare. You could also look at spell and physical power if you want, depending if you don't go for Bahamut. But personally, I'm going to be going for Mega Flare and HP and build a very bulky Bahamut overall. Preferred learned skills, mid-heal is actually going to be one of the skills I will probably teach Bahamut. And that is a really jerk move. But I think that is actually a wonderful use. It has a huge MP pool. Yes, it does do a large amount of damage. But if you're going for GVG defenses, that really can screw up people with mid-heal having there. And it just gives you another option for healing, especially when I would say a good portion of GVG battles usually go around turn 4. You can use that Bahamut for that portion as well. And other, random decisions as well. And really screw up a lot of thought process of people going through that. Inferno is another good one too. Inflicts a moderate amount of first breath damage to all enemies. You can also try and do spell power. But Inferno is one of those few that's a pretty strong breath damage skills that, yes, doesn't have increase in breath damage, but I don't have the current spells. There will be soon where you will be able to get the really strong spells. I just don't have them yet. You can also add a very strong spell skill. Anything to so Frizz or Sizz would also be a very good choice from Snowstorm. Pros, cons, pull. High stats, especially for HP and defensives for a spellcaster. By far the highest spellcaster HP defense combination in the game. Being able to regain MP as many times as needed gives it more firepower than any other unit in the game over the long run. But still, even if we go, say, for like the first 10 turns, still has incredibly high firepower. And even the first 3 turns, it is one of the best firepowers in the game, especially turns 2 and 3, where you can, I would say, 9 times out of 10 right now, I would sacrifice turn 1 to boost up to have a stupidly powerful turn 2, and then a turn 3, which will still be pretty powerful as well. That will bump down most of the MP, but at that time point, you can play the game and keep the MP in attacks at every other turn and still be able to keep out pumping out that damage. As I say, the cons, it's not a dragon. Kupo! But it also needs a lot of MP to use its skills, but it could recover it as well. And as I already stated, I want to go for the third awakening, but if I get the first awakening and it's a really bad pull session, I will end it there because I want the other A units in the game as well for this set. So I'm going to need to pull a little bit more than I usually like to. And with using that, I'm going to try to stay away. let's go with Cactuar. Yay, Cactuar, Kupu. Very, very good A unit. I'm going to be honest. If they keep making good A units, it will make it those 8 tickets finally worthwhile. First skill, tackle, 110% physical damage to one enemy, and will move up to 2 squares. Can't use if there's an obstacle in the way. Just think of like Elena's skill. That's just what it is. Needle Bundle doubles your physical skill power for a turn. Basically, it's just a 2. It's a martial potency. And with that martial, 1,000 needles will deal 1,000 damage to one enemy. It is fixed. That is crazy. This is one of the few units that has it, and it might be the only one in this game. There are a few others in other games. These tend to be very useful, especially with enemies that have stupid high damage and also pet slumps. Excuse me. So that has a ability to kind of just blow through stupidly high enemy units in the game. 120 stats, 837 HP, and 528 defense. Very high defense to HP, but low HP. You could think of Diamond Slimes, which is another thing that this is great against. But this one also has First Awakening, increases agility and evasion rate for the first 3 turns, and the Third Awakening increases evasion rate for 1 turn when attacking. So it will dodge, which makes it a perfect combination of what Final Fantasy players are used to with Cactuars and the high dodge with the ability to do fixed damage. The only thing is in Final Fantasy games, you're usually around 3,000 to 4,000 HP, so 1,000 needles isn't nearly as deadly as it is in Dragon Quest. Because there are a lot of enemies that are under 1,000, and that's the instant kill button. There are some other more powerful units for A level, but as I say, Cactuar really fits the bill. It's got good agility and really good movement, and with the 1,000 needles and tackle, it really can just zip around the board. That's exactly what you expect it to be too. This was a very well done character design in a Final Fantasy reign. It's also a very good character, period, in the game, especially for an A level. So I hope you guys enjoy Kupo. We will be back to discuss Phoenix, which will be most likely the next S unit that will be coming in about a week. So I hope you guys enjoy. More importantly, Kupo!